Something occurred to me recently, and that's that I'm not using my voice to accomplish what I originally set out to do with this channel. When I first started this channel, animation actually wasn't even a sliver of a thought. My very first video was about inspirational quotes from famous actors that really motivated me and inspired me, and it was something that I wanted to share with other people. Quotes which drove me to work hard during dark times and keep my chin up. And that's what the original goal of this channel was to inspire, to motivate, and to make people laugh. To shine light in the dark. Growing up, I was the heaviest kid in school. I may not look that now, but I was bullied every single day. I mean, I was like the Pillsbury Doughboy. There was plenty of times when I'd get off the bus after school and kids would literally chase me, yelling at me, making fun of me, threatening to beat me up. It was tough. So because of that, I pretty much lived in solitude, and I would come home and I just release myself into my video games, playing Zelda, Nintendo, or some other games. I only had a few nerdy friends growing up who were very much like me, and I was never part of any like cool group or anything like that. Now, I played football my senior year of high school because I didn't want to go the rest of my life wondering what would it have been like to play football. But it didn't make bullying any easier. It actually made it worse because now they had this fluffy hitting pad to smash into every day during practice. I used to get made fun of by the football team all the time for liking Dragon Ball Z. Now, every Thursday after practice, we would all meet up at Fuddruckers, which is this burger place, and we'd all eat these 1-pound burgers. And I remember this one time that at Fuddruckers on the TV, they were playing Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network. And this jock was like, "Hey, look everybody, it's Jake's favorite show, Dragon Ball Z." And they all busted out laughing. But there was one guy, Jerry, who was like, "Hey man, I love Dragon Ball Z." And everybody stopped laughing because he was part of the cool group. And that was actually really nice. So Jerry, if you're out there, thank you. I think the reason that I love Dragon Ball so much, and I think a lot of you guys can agree with this, is because it helps you to escape reality for a minute. While I was watching DBZ, I felt powerful. I feel like I could power up and get stronger and get buff, and I could beat my enemies and turn to Super Saiyan and nobody would ever mess with me again. That was part of the magic for me of Dragon Ball Z, and it gave me drive. Growing up with Dragon Ball Z, I always had these different fan scenarios in my head. And in middle school, a couple of my friends were actually artists as well, and we'd all take turns drawing our own little Dragon Ball comics, and we'd bring them to school and share them. It was pretty fun. Animation was something that I always in the background in my mind wanted to do. But after college, I took a corporate job, which sucked the life out of me for the next 10 years. Now, I never gave up my love for drawing. I would sketch all the time. I'd even sketch during meetings at work, which I even got caught a couple times and it didn't turn out too good. But needless to say, I knew where my heart was. And in 2012, I was eating lunch one day, sitting at my desk, just looking at YouTube videos. My job at that time allowed me to do that. And I remember stumbling upon Dragon Ball Absalon. Melavelli's Dragon Ball Absalon changed everything for me. 2012 was a great year for animation channels on YouTube because the algorithm wasn't really based on watch time, meaning a funny 1-minute animation could have like 10 million views. Nowadays, 1-minute videos get suppressed by the algorithm because YouTube wants their viewers to stay on the platform as long as possible, meaning they want 10-minute plus videos. It's really hard to succeed as an animator. So I'm watching Melavelli's Dragon Ball Absalon and I'm just completely in awe. I am utterly mesmerized by what I am watching. I couldn't believe a fan did that. He made his own Dragon Ball story a reality. Now, around this time, I was actually doing stand-up comedy as well. Yes, I used to do stand-up comedy, and I was half decent at it.
So I just come here from Soviet Russia, but 1 year ago. And I have to shorten my name to just Jake, because when I say real full name, Jakeoff, people tend to laugh. And I don't get to people, like I come here, I try to be friendly, I go up to a random person, I say, "Hello, I Jakeoff," and they call police.
But I realized that doing stand-up comedy can get you nowhere. You can be doing it for 10 years, going around to bars and hotels and doing these little shows, getting paid $50, $100. If you're gonna get dinner and a few drinks, a lot of times you'd spend more money doing those shows than you would make. And it really wasn't good for exposure. And around this time, YouTube was really blowing up. There was a lot of social media people blowing up on YouTube and becoming famous because of it. So around 2014, I decided enough was enough. I'm gonna take a leap. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna pursue my dream of making inspirational and comedy videos full time. I was gonna try and do it. I was gonna try and push my comedy career into YouTube and see if I could become a success that way and do something that I actually loved, that felt like more like it gave me purpose. My purpose in life, what I feel my purpose has always been, is to entertain people. So I quit my job. I spent all of my savings on a computer battle station. I bought all of this software, a camera, everything. And for the next 3 months, I worked tirelessly making videos and getting nowhere.
My name is Harry Pumpin. I've been working in IT for over 30 years.
My videos were getting like maybe a few hundred views, maybe 1,000 if I was super lucky, but it wasn't growing. They were costing a lot of money. It took a lot of time to make. It was hard to get all my friends and everything to get together for one day just to make one of these sketch comedies. And it really wasn't going anywhere. And after 3 months of that, after 3 months of paying rent and all these expenses, my savings were completely gone. And I had to go back to work. I had to go back to a job that I hated just so I could get by. I was happy I took the risk, but I was so unhappy it didn't pay off. I was so excited about starting a YouTube and I'm gonna get so big. Now I have full time, I can just crush it. And it just didn't happen. But I didn't give up. It was around this time that I decided, let me try and animate a little bit too. It's something, let me just do it as a side passion and see where it goes. And I did some of these animations. They didn't really go anywhere, but they were fun and it was a learning experience for me. I mean, animation and drawing is completely different. Just learning the Adobe programs took me a long time to do. And it was exciting to like see the characters come to life. But granted, the views weren't there. The amount of time that went into it was crazy. I couldn't quit my job to do that full time, obviously. But it made me pretty depressed like every single day that like I failed at my dream. I was destroyed. Then out of the blue one day, One Punch Man starts airing in Japan. Now I remember on Facebook seeing people upload the clips of Saitama kicking butt, and I was like, wow, what is this anime? What is this thing that everybody's talking about? And by episode 5, everybody was talking about it. I mean, the internet was going crazy when Saitama fought Genos. It was just like the hype machine had started turning. The series exploded and everybody was wondering, could One Punch Man beat Goku? So every week or so I'd check on the internet on YouTube, I'd type, One Punch Man versus Goku and see if any battles would come up. And there was no dream fights anywhere. And this happened for months and I'm like, why is nobody animating this? So I decided I'll pick up the pen and just give it a shot. I was working 50 hours a week at my job, plus commuting 3 hours a day. I get home around 7 p.m. and then I would animate until 3 a.m. and then I'd wake up at 6 a.m. So for the next 6 weeks, I was sleeping 3 hours a night, pretty much working 2 full-time jobs. But after 6 weeks, I finally released Goku vs. Saitama. I even said at the very end in a disclaimer, there's no way I'm doing a part 2 unless this video gets 1 million views.
And if I get 1 million views or 100,000 likes, I will make a part 2 to this. This just took me 2 months of back-breaking late nights.
It's like I literally destroyed my health, my body, my mind, making this thing while I had a full-time job. And if it didn't blow up, I was like, I'm done with animation for good. But something magic happened. Within a couple weeks, it had 200,000 views. And the comments were incredible. People loved it. They wanted more. And that's when I decided, okay. That flood of positive comments was encouragement for me to continue, and I ended up making it a 9-part series. Around episode 6 of Goku vs. Saitama, I was working a different job. It was a lot closer to home. It was about 10 minutes from home, and I was still pretty much doing 2 full-time jobs. I had my proposal manager job, which is like a business development thing, and then I had my animation at night. So what I would do is I was so passionate about the animation, I didn't even care about my proposal job anymore. I would wake up and drink coffee and animate for 1 hour. Then I would go to work for 4 hours. Then I'd come home during my lunch break and animate for another hour. Then I'd go back to work. I'd finish work, I'd come back home and animate till 3 a.m., waking back up at 6 a.m. every day. I did that for months, sacrificing sleep, health, friendships, relationships, just so I could keep animating. Around episode 6 of Goku vs. Saitama, my job was really unimpressed with my performance, understandably, and they laid me off. My first words to them were, When can I go home? I just wanted to go home and continue working on the animations. I was in the middle of part 7, which was a really big episode where Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta came to fight Black Goku, and I just wanted to keep working on it. I had a fan base that was encouraging me. I had to give it a try. I wasn't married yet. I didn't have any children yet. I had some savings from my job and I could give it another shot, and that's what I did. And now that like the roller coaster had just started taking off, when I was able to devote myself fully to YouTube, that's when it really exploded. So I dove deep into the warm waters, which they were warm because I was already gaining some traction, and I finished Goku vs. Saitama, eventually starting Anime War after that. I learned along the way that I can make videos just talking about Dragon Ball and they could get hundreds of thousands of views, which completely blew my mind. The animations would take me like a month to 2 months to make, and they would get the same amount of views as a video where you just talk about the recent Dragon Ball episode, and it would only take 20 minutes to make. I grew up on Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. I love talking about it, and that seemed perfect for me. If this was going to be a full-time job for me, if I'm able to make videos in 20 minutes to an hour that are getting that many views, this can make it possible. This can make it work. So I jumped on that when Super was gaining traction. It was around the Universal Tournament, and I just rode that wave, and that's where I am now. But along that wave that I've been riding for the last 2 years, I missed out on what I originally set out to do, and that is to inspire and motivate people. Now, my life growing up wasn't the toughest, but I was bullied very, very heavily. I was pushed down repeatedly, and I think a lot of you guys can resonate with that. I worked a job for 10 years that I absolutely hated. I mean, I was waking up depressed every single day that I was gonna have to get in the car and drive an hour and a half through traffic to work a 9-hour day at a job I absolutely hated, sometimes more hours than that, and then spend another hour and a half coming home, and then all I do is just go to sleep. It is just this disgusting, horrible way to live. I want to show you that your dreams are possible. You just have to work for it. So I made a video yesterday called The World's Greatest Anime Masters, and it talks about their most inspirational quotes, at least the ones that really resonated with me. They all fought through tremendous torment in their life and their career, but that's what molded them into the greatest in the industry. If you made it this far in the video, I'm really happy you did. I want everyone to follow their dreams and be successful, because I know what it's like to be doing something that you're almost forced to do as a job just so you can get by, just make ends meet, but be miserable every single day. That's not living. That is not true happiness. And if you're doing a job like that, you're not making your dream come true, you're just making somebody else's. Whoever owns that company, you're making their dream come true by abandoning your own. And no human deserves to do that. Thank you guys for listening to my story, and I hope I've inspired you.